Hey princesses, it's Marcus and welcome back to Forever Disney Princess. And it has been a minute since I've been doing a Disney Princess Storytime Presents. I know it's kind of supposed to be October 31st, but it turns out that I was so busy on that time, so I did postpone the Halloween story. But I do have a Tiana, and it's a Tiana story actually. But I do have a Tiana book to return of season 2 of Disney Princess Storytime Presents. That's right, it's back, y'all. I'm so excited. And speaking of y'all, I thought I could read you a story today, which is Tiana's Growing Experiment, which is actually part of Disney Princess 5-minute princess stories. Now, I love Tiana, of course, she's one of my favorites. And this is a really beautiful book. And they also have those in 5-minute princess stories, but of course, I am quite lazy to take it out. So I'm glad I have this small one that I got on a bookstore for 10 pesos. And it says, when Tiana needs ghost peppers for her new recipe, she managed to get hold some seeds, but having never grown plants before, Tiana isn't sure where to start. Will Tiana be able to master gardening and grow the perfect peppers? Alright, so we're gonna read this to you and let's get the storytelling going. Alright, let's get started. I haven't read a story for you guys for a while, or for you princesses for a while. Here's Tiana and Naveen during breakfast. Tiana sighed and hung up the phone. I've called every pepper farmer in the state of Louisiana, and none of them had what I'm looking for, she told Naveen. Tiana took the magazine off the counter and showed it to him. I've read about ghost peppers in this article. I wanted to try them on my jambalaya. But the problem is, they're from India. No one grows them here. You can tell how she worries about. Ah, this is where Tiana had this idea. As Naveen went upstairs, Tiana slowly flipped through the pages of the magazine. Slowly, something caught her eye. There the bottom of the credits page was an address of one of the Indian farms and the magazine writer had visited in this article. Tiana decided to write them a letter and ask them they would be willing to sell some of the seeds for the peppers. A few weeks later, Tiana was cooking a batch of gumbo. Sorry, let me try this again. A few weeks later, Tiana was cooking up a batch of gumbo when Naveen came into the restaurant and handled her envelope. As she opened it, a small packet fell to the floor. Tiana set aside and began to read the letter aloud. Dear Princess Tiana, we have heard tales of your famous food and are honored that we would like to use the ghost pepper in your cuisine. Enclosed, please find the seeds you will grow up to them. Look at how they're receiving the seeds. How cute is that? Ah, she went to the library. I wonder what she's doing there. Tiana couldn't wait to get started. There was just one problem. She knew how to cook a pepper, but she never grew anything before. She decided to make the stop at the library and check out a few books about gardening. By the end of the evening, she felt ready to start her garden. So that's why she's here in the library. By the way, I'm joining along with a group of princesses actually, and just to be sure that on by I believe by New Year, I'll be doing a Disney Princess haul. So be sure to stick around. Just a reminder. Ah, look at that. She's buying something and she's cleaning. The next morning, she went to the market and buy supplies. She found pots, gloves, trouble, and watering can. Trouble is like, those little, like, tiny shovel. um, then ordered dirt and fertilizer to be delivered to the restaurant. Back at the restaurant, Tiana went up to the roof deck. She was going to turn the place into her garden. Once everything needed had been delivered, Tiana got started. Oh, and look at Tiana worried again. What was she worried about? Each morning before the restaurant opened, Tiana checked up her peppers. I hope I planted them correctly, she told Naveen one night. What if they don't grow? They will, said Naveen, resoundingly. Just be patient. Finally, one morning, she saw a spot of green. Tiana was so excited to see her peppers start to grow that she decided to try her hand of growing other things too. That's really cool. And patient is a virtue, after all. With Lottie. Here's Charlotte, of course. A few days later, Tiana was planting her new vegetables when she heard a familiar voice. Tia, are you up there? Tiana looked up as Charlotte opened the door of the room. What on earth are you doing? You're covered in dirt. It's filthy out here, Charlotte exclaimed. Tiana smiled at her friend. Welcome to my garden, Lottie, she said. Want to help? Look at Charlotte looking so shocked that Tiana has going something dirty up here. You want me to touch that? Asked Charlotte. There could be bugs in there. You could tell Charlotte is being scared to be dirty. There could be... come on, Charlotte. It is just a little dirt, said Naveen, with a wink. And Tiana's having fun. In fact, she's having so much fun. I'm thinking of trying it. Charlotte looked over at Naveen. You're going to get your hands all dirty? I'm getting out of here before any of that filth gets on my new dress. You can tell that Charlotte is so afraid of dirt. She might be like a germaphobe though. Who knows? Naveen followed Charlotte back down the steps, but a few minutes later, he returned to the roof with a cucumber. Okay, what did I do? Well, first, you have to get the seeds out of it, said Tiana. In the kitchen, she exclaims about the seeds would have been washed and then dried in a few days. A few days? Cried Naveen. But I wanted to work on the garden with you today. What is it you told me? Be patient, she said, smiling. Gladly she listens. Just then Louis came to the kitchen looking for a snack. Did I hear someone say garden? He asked. Can I try? Tiana smiled at a friendly alligator. Of course you can, she said. A few days later, Tiana tended to her existing plants while Naveen and Louis got busy planting their crops. But Naveen wasn't finding gardens so easy. You can tell how worried Naveen's face is. But remember when I said earlier, patience is a virtue. Ah, look at that. Oh, and Lottie's here. Fortunately, with Tiana's help, Naveen fixed his pots. Then, day after day, the trio trooped up to the roof to check their plants. Hey, look at that, shouted Naveen excitedly. Look at what? Asked Charlotte. She had come up to the roof to find her friends. My cucumbers, said Naveen. I did it. All that dirt really doesn't bother you? She asked. Naveen shrugged. Honestly, it's kind of fun. It's messy, but look what I have to show for it. Look at that. His appreciation is so proud. Ah. Charlotte wandered around the roof looking at everyone's plants. Wow, Tia, she said. Those peppers are really getting big. And Louis, those radishes do look tasty. You all seem to having so much fun. Maybe getting a little dirty isn't so bad after all. She paused and considered what to do next. Ah, and this is what she wanted to decide. Okay, I'm in, Charlotte announced a moment later. But I want to grow something pretty like flowers. Tiana walked to her friend. Come on, laddie. We'll go to the market and we'll find the perfect flowers to grow. I knew she is having some good decision. The next morning, Charlotte put on an old dress and covered in the biggest apron she could find. Tiana laughed when she saw her friend. I think you may be a little overdressed, Lottie, she said. Charlotte shook her head. I said I touched the dirt. I didn't say I was going to let the dirt touch me. Now come on, show me what to do. Over the next few weeks, everyone spent as much time working on their plants. Naveen surveyed the roof. There are pots everywhere. What are we going to do with all of these vegetables? He asked. Tiana smiled. Leave it to me, she said. Meet me back here at 5 o'clock on Monday night. Look at all of the plants that they planted. Is it really pretty with those flowers and veggies? They're so amazing. Ah, and look at that delicious salad, and I'm guessing this must be the jambalaya. That Monday, the friends gathered on the roof. Charlotte gasped as she looked around. Tia, she said, you turned all of your vegetables into dinner. Tiana smiled. I realized we had grown the perfect ingredients for the summer salad. And for everyone daring enough to try it, the first batch of my new jambalaya recipe guaranteed to set your mouth on fire. And that is the end of the story. One thing I really like about this book is that this is a book about patience. You know, because patience is about virtue. And I really like that. Anika Noni Rose read this one during quarantine, and I'm really loving what I read it. And by the way, I have the best Tiana impression. Just because I have this country accent. Well, thank you, princesses, so much for joining me. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'm so happy that that this episode is coming back. We're going to finish around season 2 until March, and then go forward with season 3 because I don't want it to waste this season. So we're just gonna finish the whole season 2, okay? Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell notification right over there next to Ariel. No pun intended. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram at ForeverPrincess2001, and I'll see you, princesses, in my next video. Have a royal day, princesses. Bye! Just put your hand in my